Welcome to the tutorial on preparing our files so that we can create our website in Dreamweaver. Now this is obviously for my Year 10 class, but you can follow along just the same as well. For the purpose of this assessment that we're working towards, our focus is on the design of website and not so much on the functionality. So we've designed our websites in Adobe Photoshop, and you can see that on the screen directly in front of you. And we're going to export those as static images, which we are then going to use in Dreamweaver to build a HTML file. So to prepare your file ready to be used in your website, once you've completed all of the elements, you've got your logo, you've got your titles and your artwork and etc. Just to have a look at what it's going to look like, go to the View menu, go to the Show submenu and untick the guides. And that obviously just takes away all the rule guides that we've inserted, and you can see exactly what your page is going to look like. So if you're happy with that, you can turn guides on or turn guides off, it doesn't matter too much. Those guides obviously don't get exported when we save it, they're only there for you to view when you're working on your file. So we're going to go to the File menu, we're going to go to the Save As menu, and then we're going to navigate into our directory. Now I'll give you some more information on directories later on, but essentially we need to have one root folder, and you can see here that I've got my website folder here. Within that root folder are going to be our HTML files. You can see I've actually got a couple of samples there ready to go. And in the images folder is where I'm going to store all of the images that are going to be used in my website. So in this particular location, is where I want to save it. So in my image folder of my website root. In the format, I'm going to be using a PNG, a portable network graphic file. That is the most suitable for my specific purpose. And I'm just going to call it home or index if you want to be a little bit more technically accurate. So index.png for portable network graphic, save, and we're going to go with the default settings here. So small/slow for compression and none for the interlace. Click OK. Okay, so now if we navigate into our Finder, make our way to our root folder in the images, we should see an image which is the index.png. If we just do a quick preview, you should see exactly what you saw in Photoshop. That's the end of this section. Thank you. Okay, welcome to our tutorial on organizing our directory structure for our website. Now we will remember from our lesson on Wednesday that the most important thing that we need to do when preparing our website is to ensure that every single file and every single asset that we are working with, including our HTML pages, are stored in a single correct folder, so that none of our files go missing and we don't end up with that horrible 404 page not found error. So to avoid that, we're going to be working with a site root folder, and this is our key folder in which all of our files are going to be stored. And you can see on the left side of the screen, that's going to be named your surname _ website. So find a spot on your computer where you would like to store your website. Now, it doesn't matter if it's on your desktop, whether it's in your documents folder, as long as it's somewhere where you can find it, and more importantly, that everything that you are using for your website is in that folder. So if you like to be organized and you would like to have it inside of a subject folder, that's totally fine. You can go to your Year 10 multimedia folder, you can go to your website folder, and you can create a new folder in this point here, and you can call it your surname _ website. And that's going to be handy as well for when you submit it because it's already got your name in it. Now within this folder, we are going to have our 5 web pages. Our 5 web pages you can see here, and you should remember from the assessment task, we're going to have an index page, a products page, a photo gallery page, contact us, and about us. Those 5 pages will be represented by HTML files. And you can see there I've got index.html, products.html, photogallery.html, contact us, about us, etc. We obviously can't just create those now and insert them in there. We're going to be working on that in Dreamweaver later, so we can't work on those just yet. what we can do is you can see we do have a folder that we need to have. So within your website's root folder, create a brand new folder now and call that folder images. Also need you to create another folder called reference list. Okay, and this can be reference list, or you could put bibliography as well if you'd like. And another folder called your folio. Now, these folder names should be nice and self-explanatory, so it should be easy for you to work out what's going in each. Your folio folder, that's where your PDF version of your folio is going to go in as a backup for your submission of this task. At the moment, that's going to be empty. Your images folder. Now, because we are designing our websites as static website pages that we have designed in Photoshop, we've saved them as an image file, a PNG file. This image folder is where those PNG files need to be stored before we start designing our website in Dreamweaver. So it's important that those files are there ready to go before we start working in Dreamweaver. So just to show you an example of what that will be looking like, I'll actually put some of my files in there right now. So I'm going to find my home page and my index and my products page. I'm going to copy those and paste those in. So now I've got 2 of my 5 web page images in there. In that folder as well, you might like to put some of your other things. You might like to store your Photoshop file that you use to create that index image and the Photoshop file you use to create your products image. It's up to you at that stage. It's obviously not going to be accessible through your website when we're finished, but if you decide you need to make last minute changes, it's going to be very easy for you to locate it. So again, images folder, you definitely need to have your 5-page PNG files, and it's up to you if you'd like to include your Photoshop files or any other image elements. And lastly, the folder there, reference list, again, that's nice and simple for us to work out what goes in there. In your reference list folder, I would like to see a document of all of the images, videos, and other sources that you have used in the creation of your website. That might even include this tutorial. If you'd like some help with referencing this tutorial, have a look at the notes that I've put on the YouTube page for this particular one. So that's the end of that. You can see that in my folder structure. I'm just going to scroll back. I've got my root folder, a reminder that's the key element of our website. Everything goes in there. And then within that root folder, I'm going to have 5 HTML files. I'm going to have an images folder, a folio folder, and a reference list folder. At this stage of the assessment, all we need to do is make sure that we have our 5 images in there so that we can begin working in Dreamweaver, building and linking our files together. This has been another tutorial from Mr. Dwyer.